I'm Catherine Austin, and welcome to Living Karma Yoga, a show where we celebrate all that the yoga world has to offer, from the postures to music, mantra, meditation, travel, cooking, and so much more. We hope you find here many tools to help you live the life you deserve, a life where you can literally vibrate love, joy, fulfillment, and abundance in all forms. So today we're going to enjoy a karma yoga practice here on the studio set. And this is a class at Karma that's really a great entry-level class that you could come into at any time. No experience necessary. And I'm joined today with Nicole and Matt. There's our students from Karma Yoga. And I'd love you to please join us today. Just get on the floor. You don't need a yoga mat. Take your socks, your shoes off, and enjoy being with us today and feeling the benefits that yoga has to offer. So let's begin in the seated position. Close the eyes and go ahead and bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your navel, just so that we can make that inward shift from a busy, hectic life that we all lead into our more inner world, where there is some quiet, there is some peace, there is some silence. And I'd love you to deepen your breath up to this hand that's closest to your collarbones. When we lengthen the breath, it automatically starts to slow down the nervous system. It actually balances the nervous system for you. The brain starts to relax, the blood pressure lowers. Just breathing right here, right now, you are doing yoga. If this is all you did for our short class, you would have tremendous benefits. Go ahead. Let's take a couple extra deep breaths. Beautiful. I mean, how often do people just sit down and breathe and relax? Okay, so let's gently now come forward onto your hands and knees into table pose. Nicole and Matt are going to place their hands maybe a little forward of their shoulders, and their knees are going to be about hip distance apart underneath the hips. Keep the breath going. This is a long, deep breath now, a conscious breath. Notice how they're spreading their fingers and rooting the four corners of their palms. Now, along this rhythmic breath, go ahead and inhale, lift your head and your heart up to the sky. And then exhale, round the spine, bring your chin and your chest to the navel center. Beautiful. Now let's just go back and forth. Inhale, lift the head and the heart, and this is going to help us warm up a little bit. Good. Exhale, rounding the spine. And you're going to notice their eyes are closed, which really helps you to make that shift more inwardly for practice. Good. Deepen the breath. This one pose alone is like one yoga class in itself, because this particular pose literally balances all the 7 chakras, or your energy centers that literally run along the spine. And it's having balanced energy flowing through us that helps us to feel good. It's that simple. Good. Let's do a couple more rounds. Deepen your breath for me now. Right, you could never breathe too deep in yoga. It's just going to be great for you. Getting more and more oxygen to the blood. Nice. Good. Now take one more inhale. And on your exhale, you're going to release back into child's pose. So that would be your knees coming about mat-width apart, the big toes kind of coming together. Good. Now relax the head, the elbows, the arms down, and just let go. Give yourself permission here to simply relax. It takes practice. Trust me, we are used to being on. We don't even realize how much we're speeding at the speed of light all day long. So, you know, when you're just new to yoga, keep coming back, because it's going to take time to kind of get like a new operating system. Learning to slow down and breathe. Good. Let's all take some deeper breaths into the back body, meaning your kidneys here, down by your hips, where we hold a lot of unnecessary stress. See if when you take your breath that the rib cage can expand out to the side. Nice. Beautiful. Now inhale, come back up slowly onto your hands and knees. And notice when I'm teaching that I'm instructing the breath first and then to move the body. We really want the body to start to serve the breath. The breath is kind of the boss now, instead of us always running around and trying to run everything at full speed. Good. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Now your hands are going to frame your right foot, or if you want to have some blocks to help give you a little more space, Nicole's going to show how they can lift you up higher to make the yoga pose more accessible. So props are great. We love props at Karma. They really support many students in the poses, and they are so not less than, they're more like brilliant. It's very wise to use them. Curl the back toes under of your left foot, and that'll slowly lift your left knee off the earth. Good. And if you hear a little snap, crackle, pop, that means you're getting some good adjustment, a natural chiropractic adjustment. Good. Now breathe deeper and allow your body to move around a little bit on the mat. Try not to be a yoga statue. This is all about getting optimal energy flow again through your body. So move a little bit. See if you can direct the breath to swim through your entire vehicle, this body that houses this beautiful soul that you are. Nice. Good. Now very gently, as Nicole is showing us, let's take the hips back further to try to bring the right leg just a little straighter. And of course, we're never looking for something that we can't attain. If we have a history of tension a little bit in our body, we slowly ease into the pose. Take a deep inhale, and then exhale, bow your head towards your right leg. Yes, there's going to be a lot of sensation. Change the word, call it transformation. I'm transforming. Allowing the stress to release from the body is what brings us into that higher state of a higher vibration of feeling good. This is why we're here practicing the yoga. To step into a life that is fulfilled, joyous, positive, all thoughts, words, and actions. Go ahead, take another inhale. Maybe if you're on blocks, release them to the side, plant your hands. And Matt and Nicole are going to step their right foot back to downward facing dog. Good. Now I recommend in this traditional yoga pose to go ahead and be generous and bend your knees quite a bit. Because as we bend the knees, we're tilting the top of your thigh bones way deep back. Now if you notice you're not breathing here, gently just come down to your knees. Connect with your breath again. That's so much more important than any false idea of perfecting the pose. Trust me, the more you come and release stress, the body's going to open and it will go into the proper alignment. The only reason our body is out of alignment, doesn't feel good, is we're carrying too much stress. Good. One more inhale. And then exhale, gently lower your knees and just pause for a moment in table pose. Take a couple deep breaths, eyes closed. Literally, meet yourself again. This beautiful, silent, peaceful individual that is so there. Nice. Now let's step our left foot forward. And again, use the blocks if this would help support you. Or come onto your fingertips framing your foot. Because when you're on the fingertips here, it gives a much more elevated state to the torso and the heart. Take your inhale first. Remember, we're working with the breath. And then lift the left knee up. And always think about, like, how could I elevate myself in this pose, outside of the yoga class, at work, at home, at family. Really, that's the lifestyle that we hope for. So we're not coming from woe is me and everything's wrong and I don't have enough. Let's move back into our true abundant state, the one that we know is available. Remember to move around a little bit, play in your body. Take a little inventory. Like, this is how you learn where you hold your stress. These poses give you beautiful feedback. This particular pose is opening in lower chakras, which is the root at the base of the spine, second chakra right above, navel center. A lot of energy gets trapped here because we're busy, we have stress, we might be a little fearful, we're worrying, doubtful. We're going to open up that energy, get it to flow, and find that those emotions start to not control us anymore. Good. Take a couple more breaths. And then instead of downward facing dog, rock forward and back on your right foot so you can take a big step up to the top of your mat. Good. And then let's take the feet mat width apart so you can move the blocks away or maybe use them because we can demonstrate that sometimes we can't touch the floor yet. Okay? Good. Now let's put a generous bend in the knees. So again, see how the top of the thigh bone goes deep back into the hip socket? This is what's going to open up your low back. This is what's going to get you to feel better again in this area of your body. Good. Deepen your breath and then just bow your head in to your intelligent edge. This is very important. Never to compare yourself to anybody else in the yoga room. You could be next to a teacher. How do you know? And that you're beautiful the way you are. In your body today, there's something to learn here. Mm-hmm. Good. 2 more deeper breaths. Really fill up. Fill up into that heart. Excellent. Now bring your hands to your hips. Keep that generous bend in your knees. Lift the navel center strong, so we're using our core to come up, not our back, and with strong legs, root the energy down into your feet and up you rise, effortlessly. Good. And just take a couple moments here. Again, bring that one hand to the heart, one hand to the navel. Close your eyes. Feel the vibrational shift, meaning energy shift, within you already. Notice how you've already forgotten about that last email, that difficult phone call, or whatever has been going on in your life that we thought was so big and so important has just drifted away. Nice. So now let's take a wide quarter step turn to the right. So the right foot's going to go to the back end of your mat, and the left foot is the parallel edge as well. I'm going to get you your block here. We're going to go into a very traditional pose called triangle pose. So turn your right foot to point to the back end of your mat, the back end of your living room, wherever you are, and bring your arms into T position. Keep the breath going, deep and full. Always be connected to source. Now reach out with the right arm towards this back wall or the back end of your mat or your right leg, and bring your right hand, let's start at the shin, or to your purple block. The left arm naturally is going up to the sky. Spread your fingers. Good. Now if your neck is feeling good today, go ahead and look up to this left thumb. Keep the breath going. If the neck isn't feeling so good, trust that and maybe look down. Help it feel better. Never force in the poses something that's not quite ready yet. Unlock the knees just enough so that the energy, like a garden hose, it can flow through you again. And maybe take the risk. I love how Matt just took the risk and closed his eyes. You're going to feel your body naturally adjusting. You're learning how to ride the flow of energy, that energy current, which is going to just serve you tremendously outside this yoga room. Because we need to learn how to flow the current of life. Otherwise, it just takes us with us, and that's when a lot of the suffering happens. So be surfers of life. Inhale, come on up, bring your block with you if you need to, and switch your feet. Let's go to the other side. Again, inhale, connect to source, arms extend, fill up into your radiant being that you are. And then reach out with the left arm and come down to the appropriate flexibility for this side of your body. So never even assume it's going to be the same from side to side. Good. Now turn on the breath. Remember, keep connected. So even when you're out and about today and you have to run your errands, you can find that state of yoga anywhere you go. And let's talk about that, because what you're seeing here really isn't the yoga, but this is the vehicle that gets us to the yoga. The union, the merger, the feeling good. So we use these tools or these technologies of poses, of meditations, of mantra music, maybe gong, all to help us clear out the stress to get to the yoga, the union. Nice. Good. Now inhale, come up slowly. I'm going to navigate the energy flow, right? Very slow. Exhale your hands to your hips, feet turn parallel, and pause. Eyes are closed. Because let's talk about really what we're doing here. Every yoga pose is like getting the newest software update, just like you do on your computer. You have to get the update or the old software doesn't work anymore. And it's the same with us. Like, would you ever purchase the old computer or keep using the old computer? That software program, that operating system doesn't even work anymore. It crashes and burns. Well, so does ours if we're still repeating the same old patterns all the time. So in yoga, you're totally getting a new operating system. Now bring your right foot back to your left, step back to the top of your mat. Good. And then let's just bring the arms up over our head. Interlace your 3 fingers if possible. Your thumbs are going to cross, and point your fingers to the sky. And pick a spot in front of you that you can focus your eyes on. We're going to work on a little bit of balancing. So inhale, come up onto your toes, and don't worry about being perfect. We don't need to be perfect. And then exhale, lower the heels down. And do this slowly again. Inhale, rise up. Good. The deeper the breath, the easier this is going to be. Exhale, lower. Again, inhale, rise up. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale. Good. Now this last time, inhale, stay up and see if you can just ride the little bit of shifting and it's going to go on in the nervous system. Press strongly into the mound of the big toes. Deepen your breath. Reach to your highest self. Excellent. And then exhale, lower down. Good. Bring your hands to heart center and release the hands by your sides. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, and then exhale, fold back towards the earth again. And let's step back one more time into downward facing dog. Plant the hands, step back to the back of your mat, and don't be afraid or shy to take a nice long dog. You're only just going to get more length here in the spine. Bring the navel center in strong to just fill up that back. Good. Now just for fun, let's work a little bit on our strength of our upper body, and you have the option to lower your knees if you want. In fact, let's come into plank pose. So bring your shoulders over your wrists. And then Nicole, lower your knees to the mat just to demonstrate that this is a great place that you can always go. You have to really trust your intuitive body in yoga. You are a yoga teacher already. You know where to go. So trust that. No matter what the teacher is actually saying, if you need a break, come down to your knees. Good. Now lower all the way down onto your belly. Good job hanging in there, Matt. And just relax a minute, arms by your sides. Turn your head in one direction and totally let Mother Earth support you. Write yourself a permission slip to let go. I'm giving you that right now, that permission that, you're on all the time at your job, but you need that daily retreat time every day. Many students say, well, I don't have time to go for an hour yoga class, and I totally get that. Come when you can, but when you can't, Do a little bit of warm-up at home like we did here. We warmed up with that cat-cow. That's going to totally shift you and make you feel better than if you did nothing at all. Do a couple down dogs. Even just laying here on Mother Earth will shift you. You'll feel supported and more grounded for your day. Let's roll over to lying on our back. And it's always a good sign in yoga class when you're getting closer to the earth, you know you're almost ready for that delicious shavasana, or where we take a break, we take rest. Okay. So let's draw in both knees, finish up our practice with a spinal twist. So draw on your knees, give yourself a hug, rock a little bit from side to side. Good. And then open your arms out to T position. And we'll take a quick spinal twist, knees to the left, so go all the way to the left. But turn your head to the right, so it's just like if you had a towel and you were wringing out a towel and you're getting rid of like stagnant or old water that's trapped in the towel. You're doing the same thing with a spinal twist. So it's going to immediately flush new energy into your body. Go ahead, inhale, come up through center, change sides. And notice how Nicole's got a block in between her legs. That often makes the low back feel better. It creates great space for the sacrum. And that's that tiny triangle at the back of the spine. Good. And inhale, come on up. And go ahead and straighten your legs out onto the mat. We're ready to move into relaxing, which is actually a very important pose of the yoga practice, because you need to integrate now the new patterning that we're teaching the nervous system, the body, and the mind. So stay with us. After this segment, we're going to move to a beautiful segment with my friend Kate Smith, our Ayurvedic chef, as we learn all about Indian spices from her spice box. I'm here with Kate Smith, a part of our Ayurveda team at Karma Yoga, and she's also our Ayurvedic chef on staff, and she's going to teach us today on a mini lesson all about spices in her spice box.
Hi, Kat.
Hi.
Welcome again to my kitchen. We've been here a lot, and it's so much fun. So today we are going to talk about the spice box that's actually called the Masala Daba. And underneath this lid lays the secret ingredients to beautiful Ayurvedic cooking.
What does masala daba actually translate to?
You know, I don't know the exact Sanskrit translation, but I know it is the name, I think, and there are other names as well.
Spice box.
To the spice box.
Okay.
So this is the spice box, and there's a lot of tradition in the spice box, because in Indian households, the spice box represents the heart of the kitchen, you know, the hearth of the kitchen as well. And it's made up of a couple of pieces, and this is the lid.
It's like a pharmacy in the box.
Exactly. Right. The secrets of Ayurvedic life and science are in this box. So there's two lids. Here's one, here's two, and voila.
And smell the spices.
And the colors. Look at these colors. Yeah. So every spice box is actually individual and actually very unique, depending upon where you live in India and your favorite spices here in your own kitchen. So let's say you lived in northern India, you would have the spices that represented that part of the country. Southern India.
Right, which are very different.
Very, very different. You'd have more of the spicy chili peppers in northern India. You know, you would even see the chili peppers sticking out of the box.
Right.
In this spice box, in my spice box, I have turmeric. Do you want me to go over here? Turmeric, fennel, coriander seed, cumin seed, black mustard seed, coriander powder, and black peppercorns. And when I come home, really, the first thing I do is go upstairs, wash my face, come downstairs, and pull my spice box out of my cabinet. Take a look, think about what I've got in my pantry and my fridge, and that begins my sadhana, my ritual around Ayurvedic cooking. So the spice box can look a lot of different ways, but this is the basic elements of the spice box, but you probably will see spice boxes in India a lot more beat up than my box.
Yeah.
And the reason is because it's been handed down from generation to generation.
What a beautiful ritual.
Isn't it? So it's when a bride gets married, their mother can hand the masala daba to the bride, and she takes the masala daba into her household. So I thought that was a really cool piece. I read that, and I thought it was really neat. So the masala daba represents color, texture, smell, and that's the way we are in our kitchens when we're being with our Ayurvedic experience. We're being with it in a multifaceted way in all of our senses. And I think the spice box is so unique because it makes the spices pop.
Right.
You know, when we have a spice drawer, which I have too, or a spice shelf, we see all of our spices, and that's great. But I really go through my spices so quickly that it's easy to keep them like this.
I love my spice box. It just feels so delicious when I open it up.
Right. Because it's such a beautiful visual. So mine's pretty clean today,
Yeah,
because I snatched
mine
it up for you.
Mine doesn't look like that.
Right, right.
So talk quickly about what these spices might do in assisting us in getting into balance. Some are cooling, some are heating.
Right. Well, without getting into too much depth, you know, we'll make our different types of spice waters. So for instance, in the fall, we might focus more on cumin, coriander, and fennel. And so we take those seeds, the cumin, the coriander, and the fennel seeds. And for digestion in fall, when we're cleansing and getting out the heat of the summer, and we want to just try to cool our digestive system down, we use these, which is called the triage of Ayurveda: cumin, coriander, fennel.
Right.
The turmeric is, I mean, we look at turmeric as the most amazing digestive aid. Turmeric is revered in Ayurvedic cooking for digestion, for health, for memory. There's being studies right now actually on Alzheimer's and turmeric.
It's anti-inflammatory as
Yeah,
well,
of course.
right?
Yeah, it is. And the pepper, of course, is a spice, so it's going to heat up our digestive system. Mustard seed is a beautiful stabilizer in our digestive system, and coriander powder is I think it's pretty neutral. And there's many spices that are called tridoshic spices that are good for all digestion. But of course, we want to see which spices we can use to help keep us in balance.
Now, I thought I was told not to, and I don't put my cinnamon in here because it's so strong, right? It can kind of overpower the other spices. So there's a few that you might just leave out. But I do put my cardamom in here, my cardamom powder. Or my whole pods.
This is my coriander, yeah, or your pods, because you might use them a lot.
Good.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for showing us your beautiful, clean masala daba. I got to go home and clean mine.
Wow.
Thanks so much, Kate. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you like what you see here, go to our website, www.karma-yoga.net. Namaste.
All love surround you.